YouTube, what's up? It's your boy Antha Barber coming back at you with another major transformation. In this video, I'm going to be taking my boy from nappy to happy with a burst fade and a beard fade. Stay tuned. Alright, so typically I like to brush or comb out my client's hair. His hair texture is a little different, but the same concept applies. Instead of brushing or combing out, what I'm doing is I'm stretching out. I'm trying to get his hair to stretch to its maximum potential so I could get a clear indication of how much is there and what needs to take place. So this is equivalent to me brushing or combing out my straight hair clients and getting the hair to lay in its natural direction. Alright, so now that I have the hair on top stretched out, a nice little fro going, I'm now going to take my comb. Shout out to Steel Tooth Comb for this dope comb you see me using. And I'm going to begin to just comb out his beard. He had a few naps in it. So I just want to get everything real clean looking. And with this hair texture, everything tends to fro. So I'm trying to fro out the top. I'm trying to fro out the beard. And I'm just trying to get everything stretched out, maximized, so I could give it a good clean cut. So right here you see that I slapped on my number 2 wall premium guard. I am coming in with the lever close, and what I'm doing right here is I'm setting the shape and foundation to the cut that I want to give him, but I'm also removing bulk, cleaning up my work area at the same time. Alright, low key, one time, smash that like button right now if my client reminds you of a young Mr. T. Alright, so now that I got everything froed out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with my trimmer and I'm going to begin to set my first guideline, which is going to be my bald guideline. And this is something like a burst fade, but it's not your average shape that you see a lot of other barbers do. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to contour the shape to the haircut that I want to give them. Right here you see that I leave it a little darker in the front area. Well, a lot darker in the front area. And that's because we weren't sure whether we were going to have this haircut connect to his beard or have a disconnect look. So now you're going to see me come in with my foil shaver. I'm going to bald out that bald guideline that I just set. And I'm going to use that flick out motion when I get towards the top of that guide, because I'm trying to demonstrate a smooth transition from completely bald to stubble. And that's going to help this blend pop later. So now that I got everything balded out, I'm going to come in with my clipper with my lever open. And I'm going to begin to set my next guideline. And I'm giving myself the same amount of space that I gave myself with the first guideline set. And you're going to notice as I go through this cut that when I get towards the back, I'm not mimicking everything that I'm doing in the front. And that's because we want to give them a burst fade up the side, but in the back we want to keep it wide and connected at the same time. So I'm not going to stretch that blend all the way to the back for that reason. So now that I set it in with my lever open, I'm now going to close my lever. And now you've seen me remove that weight that I left because we decided to go with the disconnect. So I'm going to close my lever. I'm going to begin to fade from the bottom of that guide towards the top of that guide. And little by little as I go up, I'm going to open my lever. And every time that I do that, I'm going to notice that that guide's moving up with me. And that's okay because that's exactly what I'm looking for. By the time I get towards the top of that guide, my lever's fully extended again. It'll be completely blended out. So now I'm going to come through with my wall number 1 color guard with the lever open. And I gestured the flick out motion because I'm getting towards the top of the original shape that I set them. And I don't want to set anything harsh in. So once again, I'm going to come in with the lever open. I'm going to continue to follow the shape, giving myself the same amount of space. And once it's set with the lever open, I'm then going to close my lever and begin to blend from the bottom of that guide back up towards the top of that guide, opening my lever as I go. And I'm going to keep in mind that the one doesn't completely remove itself, although it is cleaning up really well. What the one close is gonna do is it's gonna soften that guide, so when I come through with my next step, it's easier to blend and remove. Alright, so now I'm gonna come through with my wall half color guard with the lever open, and right where I just showed you there's some weight left behind from the one close. I'm gonna begin to attack that weight, and I'm gonna use the fade process, but this time I'm gonna fade down. So I'm gonna come in right above where that weight line was left with the lever open, and I'm gonna begin to fade downwards, and I'm gonna close my lever as needed until that guide is completely blended out. Alright, so now that I got that blended out, I'm going to come in with my wall 1.5 premium guard with the lever open, and just like I gestured, I'm using the flick out motion, and that's because I'm not trying to set anything harsh. I'm trying to go from this blend into the shape of the haircut that he's getting. So I'm trying to transition into that, and I'm using that flick out motion to continue to add shape to the haircut and remove bulk and darkness at the same time. So just like the previous guide, when I come in with the lever fully open, once it's set, I'm then going to close my lever, and I'm going to begin to work my way from the bottom of that guide back up towards the top, opening my lever as needed, blending out any dark spots that I see. Alright, so right here you're going to see me take my trimmer and start his edge up. And the reason why I'm choosing to do this right now with the side edge up is because I feel like when I do this and that line sets in, it makes blemishes and weight pop at me from the fade. So that's exactly why I did it, so blemishes would stick out to me. So now I'm going to recomb out his beard just a little bit more, and I'm going to jump right into this beard fade with the number 4 wall premium guard with the lever closed. And I'm just going to knock down bulk right now and kind of set the foundation for the beard fade that I'm going to give him. Alright, so now that I have the bulk removed, I'm going to begin the fade process. And would you believe me if I told you that I'm going to follow the same exact steps that I just walked you through on his fade, but now I'm going to apply it to his beard. Remember, trust the process. So I'm going to come in with my lever fully open. I'm going to set my first guide. Once it's set, I'm then going to close my lever little by little and blend that guide out. And I'm going to follow that same exact step and process throughout his whole beard fade. So you're going to see me come in with the new guard with the lever open. Once it's set, I'm then going to close my lever, begin to blend it out, just like I did with the fade on the side of his haircut. So I'm not going to walk you through these steps, but while I got your ear for a moment, I just want to say shout out to Tito Beats for this fire that you hear in the background. Thank you, my boy. I really feel like these beats set a dope tone and vibe to my tutorials, so I appreciate you. I'm gonna drop his link in the description, so you guys make sure to check his channel out. And when you do, make sure to drop a comment, and in that comment, let him know that your boy Ant the Barber sent you. Alright, so now I'm going to take my trimmer and I'm going to begin to do the edge up on his beard. And When I do anybody's edge up, whether it's a lineup or on their beard, just like I just told you when I was fading on top and I stopped and I edged up his side box, anytime you line somebody up and that clean line sets in, it allows blemishes of the fade work that you just did to really stand out. So right now I'm really paying close attention and I'm looking at any blemishes or weight that I see or anything that needs attention. I'm focusing while I'm this close. Right here, I'm cleaning up his lip line. He's comfortable with the length of his mustache, so we don't need to knock anything down. So I'm just cleaning it up. Right here, I'm coming in with my foil shaver, and this just, it gives a really clean look to the beard. It's just like cleaning up with the razor, except I would imagine it's a little more comfortable on my client. So now that I'm done with that, I'm gonna begin my freehand shape up. And I'm new to this, y'all. I'm telling you, not only am I new to this hair texture, I'm really new to shaping anybody up this way. So this was actually like the first, maybe second time that I've done this. And I think the first time that I did it, I just slightly did it, only a little bit in the top area around the front section when I was getting ready to do his lineup. So that's the only experience I had other than watching videos on YouTube. And I particularly don't watch a lot of videos with this hair texture because where I live, it's not a common thing. But I do watch some of them and I'm glad that I did. So shout out to any other YouTube barber that's went ahead and shot those tutorials, because that kind of helped me and paved my way through this cut. So once I did my freehand shape up, I'm now going to begin to clean up some of that weight that's exposed when I did it. So I'm going to come in with my wall number 2 premium guard and I'm going to clean up that weight. And when I go in to remove those dark spots, I'm using that flick out motion again because I'm trying to maintain and keep the shape that I gave them, all while removing bulk at the same time. And just like any guide that I've set in, once it's set with the lever fully open, I'm then going to close my lever and continue to focus on removing dark spots, working my way to the top. So now that I'm done doing that, I'm just going to all around do my detail work right now. So what you're going to see me do is I'm going to fade, but I'm going to use the fade down process using every guard that I just went through, cross-checking my work. Alright, so now that I basically walked down all the guards, and now here I am, no guard, lever open. I'm using a lot of the corner of my blade to just work out any dark spots that the guards didn't pick up. And this is a cool technique. I'd advise everybody to try it. I mean, you're never gonna learn it until you try it, but it's a really dope technique to have in your arsenal. So now I'm gonna begin to shape the top and the side of this. My client did want some length knockdown, so I took that into consideration when I began his shape up. Again, I'm new to this. So if there's somebody watching right now and you have a better technique or a different technique that I should try, or if you got any feedback to offer me when it comes to this hair texture or in general, please feel free to get active in that comment section below. Again, this is new to me, but overall I think it's coming out pretty dope. Again, there might be things that I'm not doing correctly or other things that I could be doing to make this easier for myself. And again, I ask you, get active in that comment section below and give me some feedback. I'm very, very, very open to it with any cut that you see on my channel. So all I'm trying to do is remain really consistent with this shape, and I think it's dope. Like, I really enjoyed doing this haircut. I really enjoy cutting this hair texture, and I wish there was a lot more of it around my town where I live. Unfortunately, there's not a lot, and what is here, I'm already cutting. So I kept everything really consistent. Here I'm gonna prep his front lineup. I'm gonna apply a hold spray. I happen to use hairspray. It's a quick dry from Redken. I like it. So once I do that, I'm gonna comb down the little baby hairs in front to give him a shape up, you know, to give him his lineup. So you could already see that right there in the corner area, he's really light in that area. So he's not necessarily gonna get that sharp boxy look. He's gonna get a shape that complements the shape of his head, but it is gonna be sharp. So right here in the back, I'm not really making anything sharp. I'm just taking my detailer and giving a shape to complement it and cleaning up around it. So now that my hold spray is almost nearly dry, I'm shaping the front of his lineup area, and I'm just going directly from his forehead directly straight up. And I'm just trying to keep everything consistent with the overall shape that I gave him. So anytime I line anybody up, I like to start directly in the center of the head and work my way to the weakest, highest point, which happened to be that side, so that's the side that I went. So right here, I'm gonna begin my lineup work, and again, I apologize, but I can't film it at the moment because the chair that I'm using is a stylist chair, and it doesn't lean back, so it's an awkward position for me and my client, and so right now I'm just not filming it. But here's a look at the final cut. I think it came out super clean. If you got anything useful out this, I ask that you smash that like button. If you're new to my channel, I suggest you stick around. It's only gonna get doper from here. I appreciate y'all. Be blessed and be a blessing. I'm out.